Thank you. Please dare to go where you fear, especially when working to make a dream come true. Rising above fear helps you to realize that you are totally unlimited. And I learned this when I went to Afghanistan at the age of 22. I went because I wanted to see that I could attract positive people in situations no matter where I go. I also wanted to see Afghan culture beyond the lens of Western media stereotypes. I was also inspired by a Hindu shaman who taught me about mysticism when I lived in the mountains of Nepal. His name was Kali Baba, and he would travel around Asia with nothing but the clothing on his back, but a great faith that everything would work out. It seemed to work for him, so I wanted to give it a try for myself. That's why I went to Afghanistan with only $100 to my name, a one-way ticket, and no promise of a job. Trust me, everything worked out. I flew from Oregon to Dubai, and in Dubai I had to get out of the airport and take a taxi to Sharjah, the closest airport. And keep in mind, that was my first time in a Muslim country, so I had no idea what to expect. I got to the airport in Sharjah, and the first thing I see is a group of Afghan men. They're wearing turbans and tribal dress, they have henna beards, they don't have luggage, they have cardboard boxes wrapped in tarp string. I tried to say hello to them, but they collectively inched away from me. And I thought it was funny because I realized they were more afraid of me than I was of them. I took my e-ticket and went to the airline desk to get a paper ticket. The attendant said to me, "I'm sorry, I've never heard of an e-ticket before. We don't have these here, so you're going to have to buy another ticket for $150. Well, keep in mind, I only had $100 to my name, so I had to find a creative solution to get to Kabul. I sat for an hour freaking out and trying to calm myself down. I finally saw a Westerner from Australia. I went up to him, explained my story, and said, "I know this sounds crazy, but I need to borrow $50. He looked at me and he said, "What the hell are you doing, traveling the world with no money?" I said, "Look, this isn't about anger. I will get to Kabul. It's my destiny. And I'm going to go find another way." So I walked away. He came running after me and said, "No, no, no, take my money. It's fine, it's fine." So several hours later, I landed in Kabul, where I experienced my first dose of Afghan hospitality. The Afghan man who picked me up at the airport pulled out a fat wad from his pocket and gave $50 to the Australian, so he got his money back right away. He still stormed off in a huff, which was kind of funny, but anyway, I went on 2 weeks later to find my first job as a journalist, writing about the Buddhist history of the country. I got to go to Bamiyan, where the Taliban destroyed the world's largest Buddha statue, and it was so fascinating because I learned that the Afghans were actually hiding the Buddhist art from the Taliban because even though they're Muslim, they still care about their Buddhist history. And this is something you won't hear about in the media. I also received this great gift for walking past my fears to live in this war zone. I got to work with the UN. And I had a good resume, but I got the job because I was there on the ground. The UN didn't have to go through the hassle of interviewing me on the phone or flying me halfway across the world. I was already there, so I got the job. Beyond the adventures and the great jobs, the best thing about being in Afghanistan was the people. They're some of the warmest and most hospitable people that I've ever spent time with. I would walk down the street not knowing anybody, and Afghans would come up to me left and right and invite me to their homes. I'd have tea and dinner with them. Almost all of them would invite me to live with them after about an hour. It was crazy. So that was a beautiful gift, but also the resilience of these people, the presence of these people is beyond words, because when you're living in a war zone, you don't know if your family's going to come home at the end of the day, or tomorrow you could be a refugee and be gone to Pakistan within an instant. You don't know, so you appreciate everything you have in this moment. And that was the greatest lesson for me, is to really appreciate what you have right now instead of worrying about what you don't have. So this is a very extreme example of working with fear. But I want you to remember this story and the story of the Afghans in your own life when you're considering your fears. Just ignore them. You can have fear, but walk past it and go for your dreams. You'll get it. So thank you. Any questions? Yeah?
What were you wearing when you got to Dubai? Were you like all covered, or were you like...
Not in Dubai. It's very modern. It's like the Las Vegas of the Middle East. But I didn't know what to expect. I brought a scarf with me and I put it on in the plane to Kabul. When I landed in Kabul, I definitely had it on me. But as time went on there, I got really comfortable with not wearing it inside of buildings, but I always wore them on the street. So, yeah.
How did you survive those first 2 weeks before you had your job when you had no money?
I stayed with a travel friend, so that really helped. I'm a social butterfly and it always serves me. Yeah.
What era were you there? What year?
2004 and 2005.
Right after the war started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot to say that I worked with the elections for the UN, and I saw women vote for the first time in the country's history. I saw women run as candidates for the first time, so it was incredibly inspiring. So, anybody else? Yeah.
What's next?
I'm here right now, and we'll see what happens, but I kind of like the idea of being here, participating in community, not moving as much. So yeah, I'm claiming it as my home base, so I hope to see more of you and learn more about you.
So are you still writing, making films? What are you?
I'm a filmmaker right now. Yeah, I'm working on several films, and I'll continue to do many things. Like, I can't sit still, and it won't be just film. I have a book that I wrote, and all kinds of things. So,
What's the name of the book?
the book is called Butterfly on the Road. So it's not published yet, but you can learn about it on my website.
So thanks.
Great.
Thank you.